Hello, my friends. Welcome back. So today, discussion would be just a continuation of our open cloud journey, and we'll entering into a little bit of advanced topic this time. And as I said, I would discuss on the drafting capabilities that is possible to make our application much more intelligent. And this discussion of drafting is basically I believe you all know drafting already, but in case you don't know what's drafting, so just to make sure that it is your understanding is clear about. So like I have one transaction, I'm just using entering some data in my application, and meantime the transaction get closed because due to my system got restarted, or maybe I just went outside for a few seconds to just to grab the coffee and come back and just re-entering the data, but meantime I found like my transaction got logged out. I'm logged out of this application, or maybe I'm doing like close the browser tab. Okay, for mistakenly I just closed it. So you can anticipate whatever the data entered, right? So far I'll lose everything, and if I just need to start, I have to start everything from scratch, right? So that is how things been built so far in our case, right? So but in drafting, it will make our application a little bit of capable or smarter. Like if you have this features enabled for your application, then you just next time you come and start your application, you will see a draft state's been stored somewhere. So with that draft state, you can again continue your transactional data insertions, and saving the actual data finally. I think that sounds pretty interesting, right? What do you think? It's cool feature. So, but this is a little bit of advanced. Of course, you can anticipate. So you need to stay tuned till the end. And also, recently I published a video about the latest CDS that been offered by SAP, which is the future roadmap for CDS also, a simplified CDS. Okay, or new CDS, whatever the CDS we have been building so far, it's a kind of classic CDS. Will be I'll be creating a new CDS over here, simplified CDS. And so obviously I would encourage you to stay tuned and continue this overall discussion into end. I believe a lot of new capabilities you'll be able to learn, you'll be able to see. Okay, so that's all. And this time we'll be again creating a travel and booking application, but I'll be adding this application a little bit of more complex flavor. I'll be creating 3 layers like travel, booking, and booking supplement. So just to make this application a little bit complex is what my interest. Of course not. For few reasons I have done that. First thing is, already we have gone through or traversed a lot of path about this ABAP on cloud application development. Like managed, we have explored the unmanaged also, right? A lot of custom codes we have done, and so we are now much more confident and comfortable on this topic, I guess, right? So having little bit of complexities and things will make our discussion, I don't think, will be overburden or overthink. I'll not be doing an overdoing rather, right? Okay, that is my anticipation or my understanding. So also adding a 3 layers will create a lot of technical challenges, right? So if you just make it 2 layers, you will not be able to see those challenges, right? Okay, it will be pretty much simple. But the moment you are adding 3 layers, little bit of more complexities will come across, you have to encounter. So how to deal with it? Okay, that is the sole reason that I inserted the 3rd layer, which is a booking supplement this time. And so pretty much of newer things, same application will be building up travel and booking. That's pretty fine for me. But at least newer things will get to know this time. A lot of advanced topics, drafting as well, as already have explained what is the drafting. So stay tuned, focus till the end. If you're first time to this channel, you kindly subscribe and set the bell icon, don't forget it. So if you want to know this kind of videos in future that I'll be releasing in subsequent months or weeks. Okay, so a lot of talk, so let's move forward with the actual discussion. Okay friends, so let's check what this presentation talks about, like ABAP on cloud RESTful application programming, and we'll be exploring this time the drafting capabilities. So let's move forward. As I said, 3 tables I have taken: travel, booking, and booking supplement. Two things you will notice, I guess. One is like the within parentheses I have given A. I have mentioned A for all the tables, and also I have taken key fields this time, which is different than the earlier table. Key field nomenclature or key field concepts. So here we are adding up client and travel UUID. So let's see what is that A. A part is nothing but an actual table or persistence table. That is why what kind of a naming convention I'll be using, whatever the persistence table I'll be creating, because drafting means, like, as you can anticipate, whatever the transactional state or interim state you want to store, you'll be storing in some database table or some memory place, right? So next time you can fetch from there. So that I'm calling it as the draft table. And I'll not start initially the draft database table creation to make the application simpler to start with, because it is a little bit complex. So let's start step by step. So first I'll be starting with the non-drafting mode, means normal an application which is capable enough to get enhanced with drafting features in future. So that is kind of a thought process, okay, that I'm planning to start with. So this is the actual table, and you see like travel UUID and booking UUID and booking supplement UUID is a part of the key field this time. Okay, so UID means universal unique identification. So as you can anticipate, like the moment I'm entering into a transaction data and I'm not clicked on the save button, but I think, but rather I want this transaction state should have been saved somewhere. So obviously that table, whatever I'm calling it as a draft table, should need a key field there. Okay, so this key field, I cannot say like it will be a travel number, a travel ID, because that ID is not yet generated, right? So some sort of GUID or unique ID has to be there, which I'll not create my own, rather framework, I'll tell framework to take care of it, okay, to create that unique identification. Framework will create that UID, and actual travel ID, booking and booking supplement ID, that I will create. Okay, so kind of a separation of duty. So the SOD, right? So my job will be to create the travel, booking and supplement ID, and whereas I'll give the control back to the framework, saying like, hey, you create the UUID part, which I'm not going to bother. Okay, so that is kind of a separation of job or duty that this application will have. And so as I said, I don't have the drafting table as of now. We'll do it later, we'll come to that topic later. Let's first start with the persistence table. Assume like I have a persistence table where I'll store the data, and I have these key fields UID and booking ID, and the UID part will be created by the framework, and the actual travel ID part will be created by my logic. Okay, that is the simple point to start with. Let's move forward. So UID, as I told, it's an universal unique identification number, and as explained, this part of the generation I'll hand over to the RAP, RESTful Application Programming Framework. The scenario that we'll be covering this time is a managed scenario, so not an unmanaged scenario. But unmanaged scenario is also possible. There's drafting features to be enabled for. It's also you can do that as well. But I'll be just taking care of the managed scenario, because drafting itself is a complex one. So if I do unmanaged, it will be more complex. Okay, I don't want to do that in this discussion. In future maybe I can think through if there is some time permits, but let's focus first of all the managed scenario. So it will be little bit of easy to start with. Okay, so CRUD operation, as you anticipate, I already explained the managed scenario with the sales order and kind of an application you create at the first. So they are similar like that. The CRUD operation will be handled by the framework again, but the travel, booking and booking supplement IDs will be created by our custom logic. So that is a separation of duty. Now DB architecture, let's start with the root. Okay, so as you can anticipate, root means travel. Okay, and it will have a child booking, and it will have another child, a leaf, that is a booking supplement. And the key fields already explained, so that will be the key field nature. So next, what to do, what we'll be doing basically, As usual, we have to create a composite view or composite CDS, and we'll be using the latest CDS that been offered by SAP, because we are on cloud. So of course, it is very easy for us to explore the latest thing being offered. Okay, so we'll be creating a composite view for all the respective tables. What next? Of course, consumption view that we have to create, consumption CDS. As usual, we'll segregate the meta data part, or maybe the annotations part, in the metadata extension layer, right? Already we have discussed before. If you are watching this video for the first time, I would request click on this I button showing above, and it will take you to those earlier discussion where I have already explained. In case you have not watched, you can check that part. Okay, 1 second. Okay, next is this red mark is nothing but the behavioral definition that we are going to attach with my composite travel. Okay, so last time when we did a managed scenario, we basically added only the behavioral definition, but we didn't do a behavioral implementation because that is optional for managed. But here I told, like, there is a separation of duty. Some piece framework will take care, some piece I have to take care. So framework will take care of the crude part, create, update, delete. That framework will take care because it's a managed. But I'll take care of the actual travel ID number generations, or maybe the booking ID number generations, right? Or maybe booking supplement ID number generation. So all this ID that I'll generate. So of course, I need to implement these behavioral definitions, and we'll learn kind of a newer thing this time, how to determine the different transactional state, and how to deal with it. Okay, that's something which we have never discussed so far in this series. We'll get to know this one. So stay focused. That's why I told every time. Okay, so of course, behavioral implementation we are going to add. Fantastic. What next? Of course, you can think through. We'll be attaching the projections of the behavioral model, because we are creating one more layer, which is a consumption layer, right? We are having a composite layer, and on top of it we have a consumption layer. So as the behavioral definitions I'm attaching with the composite layer, I have to also project it to the consumption layer, so that it can be linked with the actual UI part. From the UI you can handle those create, delete, those kind of buttons, as we have seen, right? That's been all managed through from this behavioral part only, right? Coming automatically move into as kind of a default annotations, and which shows the buttons and etc., right? So that we have to project, otherwise it will only be visible. I already told this thing. If I don't project, what will happen in our earlier video, kindly watch those for better clarity. But next, service definition. Here is the piece where we'll be exposing what are the entities that we'd like to expose. So as you know, it's a business object. So travel booking and booking supplement will be having a special type of relation, which is the composition type of association we'll be using. There will be supporting other entities I'll be using, like currency, just like last time we did customers, agency. Similar here I'll be using, but I didn't want to make this particular slide spoiled with those lot of info, so just kept it aside. Okay, and of course, service definition. What is the next thing you can recall? I guess the service binding. Okay, so that is the features, and I believe if you already have watched the previous thing, you already get to know like how to do this enter thing. So I don't feel it will be worth to recreating all the things step by step. Rather, I have already created it, and let's just discuss and explain what exactly the newer things that is different from the previous videos. So that will be much more worth and much good way or productive way I'll spend the time. That is what I feel. So that's the reason I'm not creating those artifacts. Okay, if you are if you are watching and having any confusion how to create those, request you to check those, click on this I button again, and showing above, and it will take you to those earlier videos, and so that I'm not repeating that creation, to save time, and let's focus more on the logic and the complex part. Okay, so that is what the plan. So let's move forward. So let's start with our Eclipse ADT. As I said, 3 tables. So let's first open what is that travel table. It's taking some time. Okay, so here is the table. As usual, normal table that you can see. So here is my client and this is my key field. Okay, so client will be handled by the framework because we are using a latest CDS. So when we'll create the CDS, we'll see this client part I will not handle. That the newer CDS version or simplified version will take care of it. Travel UID, as I said, I'll not take care of, framework will generate, but I'll be creating this travel ID my own. I'll determine what will be the travel ID, I'll number, and that I'll be entering into this table using my custom logic. Okay, the rest of the things pretty much as usual, and some sort of this last field, local last changed at, that is a field, or that I'll be using for my the locking part. Okay, because same time should not be used by multiple users, that a normal SAP lock concept or enqueue dequeue concept. So that is the field, this field I'll be using for the locking. Locking part is not a explicit way of locking discussions. I'm not going to cover, maybe some other video, but just to be call out, this particular field I'll be using in my application. The rest of the things pretty simple. I think not much of discussion required. It's all kind of a AC11 data elements. Okay, let's move forward. Let's move forward with the booking part, booking ID. Okay, one thing you can of course observe, I'm using _a travel _d. So don't get D means and drafting. No, D means just of course a drafting, but D means not a draft table. This A is basically actual table, and D means just to segregate my artifacts with other artifacts. Like all the artifacts whatever I'm creating is for the drafting POC. So that's why this D means. So don't think it's a drafting table or draft table. Okay, so these are all actual tables because I am mentioning Z demo _a for actual. Okay, here will be my actual data will be storing, not the draft data. Okay, so now coming to booking, same thing, same concepts, booking UID, and then the client is the key field. Okay, so far so good, right? Let's go to the supplement now. Here as well, nothing difference. Okay, one point possibly you can check when I'm going to my booking table, right? I have parent UID. Okay, also notice it. I have a parent UID of the same type. So that's why this parent is nothing but the travel UID that I'll store over here. And booking ID, of course, I'll be generating my own. I'll determine the booking ID. It will be a fantastic way how to determine it. We'll see. Okay, it's a little bit interesting how to read the entities in a kind of a the mapping with the associations, how to read those entities and determine. It is really a nice thing. We'll see. Okay, now coming back to the supplement. So in the supplement, you see these two things pretty much simple. We can relate to, but I have two more things here. One is a root, another is a parent. So if I have two layers, this root is not required because the root parent means my root. The moment I'm creating a third layer, I need to introduce this root also. So that means this root is nothing but travel, but this parent is nothing but my booking, because booking supplement is a booking supplement table, right? So booking supplement table comes under booking entity or booking table, not booking table, booking entity, because we are creating a business object, right? Using our this travel booking and booking supplement will become a business object at the end. So it's an entity. All three tables will become separate three entities, and booking supplement entity comes under booking entity, and booking entity comes under travel entity, right? Already you have seen. So that's why root and will be another important thing we have to make a part of this table. Okay, so good. So now let's see the table part I have explained, pretty simple, straightforward. So let's see how we can do the composite layer. Okay, the next layer, which is the composite layer, that we'll again see this time. So now let's come back to our composite view. So no need to worry about the code piece, because I have already created those for your reference, and I have already dumped it in my repository, in the GitHub repository, which the link I'll share in the description box, so that you can easily take a reference in case you stuck somewhere. Okay, so no need to write the coding, you just focus and then refer the GitHub link. So let's move forward with the composite for the travel table first. As you can anticipate, you can see it's the latest one. It's a define root view and then entity, as I told last time, right? The earlier video about the CDS deprecations or not. So in this video, I told like this entity has to be the newer syntax. We have to add along with this view, after this view. And you see there is no more SQL view that I'm creating, no more annotations about client handling or kind of. So authorizations and this text level, because DCL part maybe sometimes I'll create how to enable the security in our CDS, and that's some other video I'll create. But this time you see only the security and this label part, only the annotation has been offered. Rest is all simple, nothing there, right? And we are adding this one add-on as an entity. So this is my composite view, which I'm just doing it on my travel route table. As you know, we have to do a special type of association, which is a composition type, and it's kind of a zero or multiple booking is possible under travel ID, right? I can have zero booking ID or multiple booking IDs. Association name is underscore booking. Also, I'm adding up a few reference table here. I'm taking a help like agency, customer, and currency. Fantastic. So now I have just created certain aliases for my coding parties here to be, and I'm just making only travel UID as my key field. Okay, so that means I to make sure this UID should not get repeated multiple times, because this UID is basically kind of connecting with the transactional state that we already had before, right? So that UID should not be multiple, which will offer one actual number through our determination logic. Okay, that we'll see. I believe rest no need too much worry about. All I'm just exposing the associations for my future use. Pretty much simple. Let's move to the booking composition. In the booking composition, as you can anticipate, define view, because it's not be a root view. Root view was my travel. Okay, this is my select from but underlying table, actual table. Now association to parent. So parent is my travel, as we all know. But this time I have to do a composition with my supplement, because from booking I can go to supplement and using this association. Make sense? Okay, and I'm just attaching a different dependent tables to make my application work seamlessly. Here, similar way, booking ID is my key field. I am introducing parent this time, because parent will be nothing but my travel, and booking ID will generate, as I told before, exposing all the associations. Rest all pretty much simple. I'll be creating one separate video for the CDS things. A lot of different possibilities are there in CDS creations. A dedicated video, maybe a short video, of course, not lengthy, but a lot of different tricks I'll try to create. Maybe sometimes in future I'll publish. So stay tuned in my channel. Okay, now let's go to the booking supplement. So booking supplement is again the select from this booking supplement table, association to my booking, of course, and that is my parent, because booking supplements parent is booking table. Rest all pretty simple, because this time association to travel I have to do, because I have to expose back to link to the travel, because that will be using. Okay, this association will be a lifesaver. We have to do it. and we are adding little bit of supplement text and those kind of things, and we are just exposing those associations pretty much. And here you see these annotations will easily enter the time part. Okay, system time. I should not be bothered. These annotations will take care. I think I have used all the places the same annotations, so that it gets automatically generated the local time instance. Okay, I'll not create separately. There is no need. Kind of a side data we have used in ABAP program, right? Similar way, or timestamp kind of. Okay, so pretty much simple. So what next? Of course, we have to now move forward with the consumption view. So consumption view in the sense like we have done composite, all these YOLO mark things are done, correct? Table part all done, YOLO mark part done. We'll be now doing a consumption view. We'll come to this, this kind of behavioral definition later on. Let's just create a consumption view and metadata extension, then we'll think about this one. So go to consumption view. So in this consumption view, again the root view as a projection, and we have to do two things: metadata allowed extension true, otherwise we cannot segregate the annotations from the composition view, consumption view, my bad. And searchable true, this I already explained last time. If I don't do it, the search that kind of capabilities will not be enabled. These are the relevant annotations. You see that travel ID is kind of a searchable I have made. Such kind of a default F4 help I have enabled for the agency. Okay, fantastic. And I'm telling like this booking will redirect to composition child of my booking AD, right? Because this is my travel consumption view. From this travel consumption view, using this booking association, you can redirect to the child view, which is nothing but the booking consumption view, that which we'll be creating now. Okay, pretty much simple. I think no more. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go to booking now to see what is that. Similar way, the view entity projection on the booking composite view, all the annotations put as it is. And now booking supplement, I'll go to the one more layer down, which is a booking supplement. And travel, using travel you can go to the parent, because I am now in booking. So using our travel, we can go to the root view or parent view of this travel, and using this booking supplement I can go to the one layer down, which is a booking supplement consumption view. Let's see what is the booking supplement. Okay, so here booking supplement view, you can see all the things I have added, annotations. You see that annotations, of course, all kind of an object model related, F4 help or something searchable, but not actual the UI rendering part, because as I told you, UI rendering part I'll be segregating into the metadata extension. I'll shortly take you to that artifact. Pretty much straightforward, simple thing. And here just one little bit add-on localized, because this supplement and supplement text, because text is kind of a multi-language. Okay, so what language it will take, English or what, that basically the localized will tell like what kind of languages. In English your locked down language is English, or Spanish or whatever. Based on that, this localized will determine which text or supplement text it has to pick it. Sci-Langu, that is the things we generally use, right, in ABAP. So same thing been handled by localized. I think pretty much interesting, cool feature. So let's move forward with the next topic, and nothing but the metadata extension. So close all, and we'll see now back to the metadata part. So in the metadata part, let's first start with the travel. So we have two things, travel and booking, two facets we have created just like the previous, and all the annotations we have put all kind of a sequential way with the numbering sequence. I think that pretty much straightforward, not much to tell you here what to be done, pretty simple. And these annotations I am doing because just to be sure, the moment I'm creating in the travel, one new travel number get created, it will become at the top of the list of my travel. So that's why descending order I'm just going to set. Okay, let's figure it out what's there in booking supplement. Same thing, no much deal. and here are the related annotations. Certain technical IDs like travel, then booking supplement, all the UI IDs I have just hidden it because I don't need to show it on the UI because it's all a technical information, nothing to do with the business users, right? Okay. Similar here, booking travel I have hidden, and rest all I have just exposed with a different numbering so that it can pretty well can place under the UI part. Very simple booking and kind of a booking supplement, two facets I'm creating with the annotations. I think that pretty much simple, right? No much of big deal. And as usual, I'm just using a partner so that in case I need to enhance a little bit in future, I can just use the customer layer, and I can just overwrite if something I would like to do later on. Okay, so metadata extension. Okay, what next? Let's move forward. So now we'll figure it out something on the behavioral definition, right? Behavioral definition at the root level. So let's go to this behavioral definitions. Here it is. This is my root level, which is my composite view naming convention. So when we'll create it, this one, you have to just see certain things I'm doing. Field numbering managed travel UID. This is the syntax through which I'm telling like, hey, travel UID is read only, means I'm not going to enter, and numbering is managed, means framework will take care of it. Very interesting thing, right? Simple one kind of a thing, syntax which will do this job entirely. And of course, just like previous thing, here I'm telling it, say it's a managed one. As I told, it's a managed. This behavioral is only for this route travel. I need an implementation this time because it's a behavioral pool for my travel, because I told some sort of custom logic I have to do to determine the numbering of the actual travel ID, right? So that the pool I'll be using. As I told, ETAG kind of a, ETAG already, I guess. So this ETAG is kind of an enqueue part, and I'll be using this field to enqueue and dequeue. Okay, I think pretty much these are all create, update, and delete, all those managed scenario. It will be taken care of by the system, or I mean the framework rather. Okay, so association, booking, create. So it's a create based association. We already used it on unmanaged scenario, so that simple applicable here. So with this association booking will be create the booking instance. This one I already explained. Okay, certain fields I have just made it read only. Okay, I'll come to this part later. Okay, now here is the part, determination set travel number on save. See, in the create operation during saving, this determination syntax, this particular method we have to generate, and it will and with that generation I'll be able to create our own custom logic. Now when you'll do this POC, you will not see if this method is not yet implemented, you will not see any syntax error, you'll be able to activate. But how to then if I get an error over here, kind of an yellow patch, I can right click and I can do an add implementation. But in this case you will not see any such error. Then how to do it? You have to just click on this method, right click, and click on something called quick fix. If you click on quick fix, in this pop-up it will tell something called add implementation, because it is not showing anything because already I have implemented. Okay, so just a quick tips, because you will get stuck definitely in case you didn't experiences it before. And I told how to handle it, or how to create your method or implement your method. Okay, right click and quick fix. Okay, now similar way, set status new, because the moment I'm generating a travel, the status would be I'll take it as a new, or pending, or whatever, that is my control I want to do. And also the total price at the travel level, because I have a booking supplement, all those cost incurred at the lower level will be summed up, and it will be finally calculated to the upper level. So it's a fantastic capabilities how to do it technically, that I'll explain. So calculate total price will do this job. Okay, and what are the things I would need during calculations? I would need the booking fee and the currency code, because that is the two details I need to calculate our, the travel level, and I mean the route level, the total price. Okay, so that is pretty much. Below is kind of a mapping of the different fields, right? Okay, now you can see little down below here all the codes now talks about the booking part, because already I have discussed about travel. Now it talks about the booking. Similar, we have a booking separate behavioral pool class, which you need to implement to add our own custom logic. All things I have discussed, not much. Here, numbering managed. So booking UID, SOD, separation of duty, framework will take care of. I'm not going to bother. Set booking number, my pain, my responsibility, I'll do it. Set booking date during safe, I'll do it. And I'll also calculate the total price, because every time every individual layer has to calculate a total price so that it can automatically update its upper level. Okay, so booking layer also do its own calculation, and it will update the travel level. Okay, that's the way overall design. And one more layer, this part is simple mapping. This all the mapping is you have to do carefully, because if you miss any fields, that field will not be updated. Okay, so that's the reason, everything important. So let's move forward with the sorry, excuse me, booking supplement. So booking supplement here again, numbering managed for the booking supplement ID, but said booking number, supplement number, I'll take care. Of course, there I have not done kind of total calculations. Yeah, I could do it. Rather, I'll encourage you do it when you will be doing your own POC. But I have not done it, just to show, like already I have shown like how this things is possible. Maybe you can little bit extend the POC, and you can complete those pending things. So far so good. The behavioral definitions. What next? Of course, the upper layer. That means we have covered this red mark. We have to now project it, the YOLO part. So let's go to this YOLO part, and you'll see I'm just projected my consumption. I have given the different alias names. Pretty much you see that create, update, delete is applicable for all on the travel, and rest booking creation will happen from travel as an association. Similarly, booking supplement will happen from booking entity by association, and this defined behavior for supplement will only have the update and delete. Of course, create part been taken care over here only. Straightforward. What next? We have to go for service definitions. Let's go to see what's there. The service definitions, I have exposed all the relevant travel booking and booking supplement, and all the underlined required tables, which is a standard table I have used, as you can see. And these are only our custom things. And finally, we have just did a binding, and this my binding is active, and I'm ready to test. So let's see. Okay, I'm a little bit excited now to see how things works. Hopefully first time it will ask for to log in. Yes, it is. So let's log in. Cool. I already tested with creation two IDs. So now that's the reason it shows. But when you create first time, of course, it will be empty. So let's create one transaction. You see the travel agency, travel ID, etc. status is not modifiable, because status we'll take care with the custom logic. We're not entering. Total price also not editable. I mean, whatever we designed in the behavioral definition, same things reflects. So let's quickly do something like customer, and then the start date, and let's say end date something, booking fee something like put 100, put USD, and what is that? Yes, put some text, let's say travel. So if I create, the numbering will take care of. So create, yes, 3 got generated. Okay, and if I go, 3 will be top because I told it's a descending order. Now where I did this number generation part, that we'll now see. So I'm just going back to the my travel behavioral definitions. This is my set travel number. Let's click on F3 so that it will take me to the method. Here is this method. So first what will do, this keys will give me the UUID details of the travel. Okay, because UUID framework will generate. So keys will contain the UUID, because if you just implement, you'll see something here as keys as my importing, right? So let's go to this method again. So with this key, I'll first determine the relevant travel IDs that available, right? What are the travel available in my entity? So it is kind of an idempotence concept, means idempotence, as you can know, like what is idempotence? What is idempotence, right? So okay, so what is idempotency? It's kind of a REST API tutorial. You can see the first note. It says, let's just go quickly. So from a RESTful service standpoint, for an operation or service call to be idempotent, clients can make that same call repeatedly while producing the same result. Okay, if I am just entering multiple times this entity to read, I'll just always get the latest one. Okay, it is not something every time I'll get a different results. Okay, so that is the reason the latest state whatever I have entered, that state it will take care. Doesn't matter how much time the request came from the client. Okay, it is always take the latest one. Okay, not every time the different things. Okay, so that is the idempotency we have to maintain. So I'm just getting the travel ID with the travel entity and how to read it, and this in local mode is the syntax which will ensure this part. Okay, fantastic. So this part is just to ensure that I don't have any empty or null kind of a travel ID. And if it is not initial, then what I'll be doing, I'll just catch the latest record or maximum travel number available in my actual persistence table. So at the first time it will be 0, so your number will be +1 because I'll be adding up one additional +1 there. So you see, like I'm just modifying it, and this particular composite view, composite entity, I'll be updating this travel ID, and with values I'll just loop it through all the travel and get the maximum number, right? With this maximum number +1 will be coming. With this +1 I'll be just updating my travel ID. So my first record will be 1 as per that this approach. And after I'm done with this, I have to just pass it this reported information back to the reported segment, because already you know how to handle this reported and failed kind of things, right? Already discussed in our previous tutorial. You just have a look if you're not sure. So that is this code. It will just take care of. So do you want to do a quick debugging? Let's put a breakpoint and go to the debug perspective. Okay, one thing you have to do, in case it is not get triggered every time you debug, sometimes it fails. You just click on this 3 buttons, go to ABAP, click on refresh breakpoint activation. So just you need to refresh this activation in case you see like it's not getting caught during debugging. So again, in going back to the application, let's create again one more. Okay, and we'll see what comes. Okay, so let's go to the customer, some dummy data I'm entering, not much importance, whatever I fill, 120 or 100, sorry, Suppose this is my booking fee, USD is my currency, and let's say test is my description. If I click on create, I'm expecting it will get triggered. See, it is. So keys, what it contains, it will contain the UUID. Let's go. You see travel UUID got generated. It is not me generating, it's a framework generates. So with this, I'll select the travel details, whatever available in my application. Sorry. You see, this is the one that I have entered. Okay. Currently, this is the one I have just entered. Okay. So next, you might be wondering to see like how this end part there, because end part is already triggered before. Okay, there is something called set status new. Those I didn't put a breakpoint, that's why I didn't notice, but it's already come over here first, then come to the numbering. Okay, that's the reason this end part is already filled in, because I'm just handling this overall status over in this syntax and in this method rather. Okay, F6. So latest number, what should be the max number? Of course the 3, because 3 was generated and now it will be 4. F6. So now I'm just updating with this reported value. Reported will be basically no details much, no need to worry, but because it is already updated to the instance level with this syntax modify entities, and you have to use transaction key. Okay, percentage transaction key, that is important. Okay, see this ls travel does have only the fields that referred from that database, but it has an runtime private fields, which is the percentage t key ky, which is transaction key, that we have to use. Okay. Okay, for all our drafting capabilities we have to use this field. Let's say F8, and you will see this travel got created, and now we'll just quickly check how to create the booking. So here the booking we need to create. Let's quickly enter the data, and I'll see something. Let's say this is the amount I want to do. Click on create. Okay, so booking got created. So now obviously I can create a booking supplement. So but the problem you see, under booking I cannot do a booking supplement, right? Because this is what the problem or limitations with the preview mode. If you have more than 2 layers, you cannot create that booking supplement, or maybe the leaf layer or the final layer data you cannot, or the instance you cannot create from the preview mode. So for that you have to do the Fiori applications. You have to create a Fiori applications, and from there you can create the booking instance or booking supplement. So now the thing is like I have already created it, this Fiori applications, and I'm not showing it how I have done, because I already created a dedicated video for that earlier. So I'll just request you and recommend you to just check that out. Just click on the I button above, and you'll get to know, like it will take you to that particular video, and you can just figure it out how I did it. So similar way you have to do here as well, to create the Fiori application. And make sure you do it before 13th of November, because you'll be using web id, and web id will be no more usable after that, if you are not a licensed user. So if you are a trial user, trial account, I'll just request you to experience this one, whatever you want to do it as fast as possible, so that you should not miss out the opportunity. Because after this web id part is over, I'll create some discussion series on Business Application Studio, which is the new web id for SAP cloud and Fiori development. Okay, so let's move to the web id part quickly. So I have logged into my cloud trial account, and let's go to this application web id. And this subscription, how to enable it, is no more available at the first go, unlike the previous case. I also explained how you can enable. You see, like only 33 days left. Very soon it will be out for the trial user, and you can just read out like what is the way you can access, etc. But anyway, I have already done that. So this is the applications I have created. So let's execute this application. Let's try it with the run. It will take little time. It's a multi-tier application, tier application, that empty application that I've created. This is my HTML module. Or rather the travel applications. I just gave it the name HTML, but it's a travel application rather. If I click on go, you see all the numbers I can see in my Fiori application, the same database. Now going to my booking layer. This is my booking. If I click on here, now you see the create options, create button you will see from the Fiori applications. So that is the why I added this third layer. Otherwise I won't be able to explain or show like what are the consequences and how to resolve it, because you might be trying like to figure it out what went wrong, but actually it's a limitations. You have to come to Fiori to experience the end-to-end CRUD operations. Okay, I think a lot of discussion so far. Let's end the discussion for this video today. And okay, so that's pretty much of the plan. And in a subsequent video, I'll be discussing further on that about like how to create the drafting, or maybe the rest of the piece, like determination, validations. Or determination part already I have explained, right? How to generate the numbers. But about the cost calculations, how to calculate the cost, what is the different actions, right? Validation. So those parts still pending. We'll explore in the next video, because already this videos is making quite a lengthy, I guess. Okay, no need to extend much. So see you guys again. Take care, and we'll come again in the next tutorial. Okay, till then, goodbye.